There are many ways to take care of your mental health. Exercise, good sleep, good diet. But my way, believe it or not, is watching anime. And I make an effort to include some wholesome titles in there in order to cleanse my palate and find some comfort. Which is why I say the Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity is good for your mental health. Because of how mature the characters in this show are. Flawed, yes, but so in tune with their emotions to the point where they feel like real people and you can learn a thing or two from them. Because who needs therapy when you have anime like this? And on that thought, come with me for a second, guys. Hey, Doc. RJ, right on time. Come, sit down. How are we doing today? Bad news for you, Doc. Good news for me. This is going to be our last session. Oh, really? Why is that? Okay, so there's this new anime. Here we go again. Called The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. Oh, so you know it. By name only. Well, a romance drama manga turned anime written and illustrated by Saku Mikami. The story follows Tsugumi Rintaro, a really nice boy who looks like he would jump you for your lunch money, who goes to the less than adequate school Chidori. One day, working at his parents' cake shop, he runs into Kaoruko, his polar opposite, a girl who looks like she wouldn't hurt a fly and attends the elite all-girls school Kikyo. The two schools have a long-standing feud, but Kaoruko and Rintaro get to know each other anyway as they find out they're not so different after all, and they enjoy spending time with each other. So, anime Romeo and Juliet. You're getting it. What I like most about this anime is that the characters are slightly more mature. The story skips pointless dramas such as simple misunderstandings. In fact, the show dismisses tropes like this in the very first episode. Instead, it focuses on real love, real respect, and real animosity towards someone. It's not a rumor that Chidori is a less educated school than Kikyo. It's true. And the girls at Kikyo look down on them for it despite everything. On the other side, the Chidori boys don't care to know the struggles of the Kikyo girls. In fact, they probably think they have none, looking right back up at them with the same animosity. I'm sorry to interrupt, but how is any of this good for your mental? Getting to it. This is good because it allows the story to focus on the inner workings of the characters, showing us that there is always more to these characters than their grades or their feud. And in return, the characters show each other the same thing as well. A story that shows both the mental struggles of all its characters, no matter the class or status, and how/why they play into this feud, instead of them just hating each other because that's what the story calls for. This is why you're a licensed professional. Actually, I'm just a YouTuber. Instead of going by characters, I want to go by couples, because this is the romance after all, and I want to talk about two couples, Doc. Alright, let's do this. The first being... By this point in the anime, I think it's clear what the story is building up for these two. I mean, in episode 7, they gave each other a look for about 10 seconds. Call me crazy, but they're gonna fall in love. I'm calling it now. But why? Subaru is Kaoruko's best friend, and Saku is one of Rintaro's best friends. Their story starts when Subaru sees Kaoruko talking to Rintaro, freaks out, and tries to take her away, while insulting Rintaro and the rest of his friends, calling them savages, and in return, Saku defends his mans, and Static is bored. This is when I started shipping them, because they're very similar. Kaoruko has had Kikyo friends protect her before, but none of them even address the existence of the Chidori boys because they see them as below them, not even worth talking to. I told you some real class system is going on in this anime. But Subaru doesn't care about any of that. It's not about who's above her or who's below her, it's about protecting Kaoruko. So she opens up her mouth to scare Rintaro off, and Saku does the same thing. He has also encountered students from Kikyo before, but ignores them because he doesn't care about their opinions. But the minute one of them says something bad about Rintaro and his friends, this man goes in for the kill, insulting her intelligence, her uppity attitude, and most triggering of them all, her hair. Rintaro breaks up the conflict by telling Saku he was wrong, and this is what I love about their dynamic. Because immediately, both Saku and Subaru see that they were tripping. They could have easily protected their friends without being an asshole to one another, considering that if they stopped and listened to Kaoruko and Rintaro, they would have seen there was never a problem in the first place. It was never personal, but both of them got very personal and misjudged the other. But I get where both of them were coming from. Storytelling like this is good for your mental health because there's a discussion to be had. You could easily defend both sides of this argument because these two are both very protective of their friends, which is why they can clash one minute and make up the next. Both Subaru and Saku feel indebted to their friends, both have major insecurities about their behavior towards said friends, and both doubt themselves even though they are the smartest and most supportive person in the room. Something I hope they realize about each other in the future so my ship can sail. And it shows you that people who are alike are alike, no matter the class or school they're in. Their flaw was not that they misunderstood the situation. Their flaw was that they didn't care to understand the situation and ended up doing something really lame. In other words, no matter whose side you're on, you learn not to judge a book by its cover.
That's a good lesson to learn. You got all of that from an anime? I told you this anime is good for your mental health. Okay, so what's the deal with the other couple?
The main couple of the entire anime, Kaoruko x Rintaro, is just too sweet, man. Rintaro is a self-loving boy who's kind to everyone but himself. He appreciates Kaoruko.
Yeah, because they can't reveal it just yet.
Because she inspires him to try harder in all of his relationships. Kaoruko is a sweet and very driven girl who loves to eat and is a little too driven at times. Like, bruh, what if the teacher saw you in front of the ops? I respect the boldness, but no. But she likes Rintaro because of his caring nature. A bond formed from admiration and kindness towards the other, the two can't help but want to get close to each other. The thing I enjoy most about their relationship is how open they are with each other. No, these two don't tell each other everything that's on their mind, but they always manage to communicate the important stuff.
Rintaro straight up apologizes for misjudging Kaoruko as a snobby Kikyo girl in the very first episode. Kaoruko, like I mentioned earlier, stands right outside Chidori waiting for Rintaro, knowing that both schools would have a problem with it. They both just say they want to keep seeing each other.
And no, they're not even dating, confessing, or even fully realizing their feelings for each other, but they communicate in a way that is realistically able to move their relationship forward. In other words, they take the risk of being honest. Although we, as an audience, can tell neither one of them knows how the other feels, but they open up anyway. They communicate their emotions anyway, and as nervous as they are about the results, they still continue to do so. Most anime would have their characters drag this out and show you the several misunderstandings a lack of communication can cause. But Fragrant Flower opts in to show you guys what a healthy relationship actually looks like. The anime even has Subaru throw the classic hating Taro, leave Kaoruko alone because your relationship with her is going to cause problems with the school. And instead of going through the whole let's stay together anyway storyline, this man straight up just says,
ごめん。できない。
Not only realizing that he can't make that decision alone because it takes two people to tango, but also that he simply doesn't want to. That he doesn't want to decide what's best for Kaoruko or how she should feel. He wants to believe in what she's already told him. A healthy relationship is not one without problems and issues. It's one that doesn't avoid problems and issues. That's how these two are able to get so close. But my favorite scene so far is in episode 5. Rintaro is feeling down because he had a fight with Saku, and Kaoruko clearly sees he's not okay, so she tries her best to cheer him up, even though she doesn't know what to say. She tells him to eat a lot of food and that would make him feel better. This would work for me, and this would work for Kaoruko because we both love to eat and food is yummy. But obviously, this is bad advice for someone like Rintaro who doesn't nearly like food that much. But it cheers him up anyway, and he starts laughing. The advice, good or bad, didn't matter because simply talking to her and her being herself was enough to put a smile on his face.
That's love. This relationship teaches us that being vulnerable is a strength. Even if you are unsure what to say, even if you don't know how the other person feels, on the other side of the leap that you take might just be something that will change your life. Even if it's for the worse, there is still value in expression. I'm gonna be honest, Doc. I wasn't really gonna make this video because everything I listed, everything I said that makes Fragrant Flower work, other shows have done, and some have even done better. But then I realized none of that mattered.
The show didn't have to be some groundbreaking romance for me to enjoy it or glaze it as much as I have been this entire video. It's simply an anime that I enjoyed. No, I looked forward to watching every week. It reminded me of one of the reasons I watch anime outside of sheer entertainment. It's therapeutic. Watching anime like Fragrance Flower is therapeutic for me, and as cringe as that sounds, it's the truth.
So, there you have it, Doc. Hello? Doc? Wait just hey man, stop playing. Where you at? Stop. Doc. Hey, Doc.
Dreamed of the final cut of the video again. I hate when that happens. Okay. Back to editing. Not gonna lie. That dream video kinda slapped. I'm still some ideas.
Yo, RJ here. Oh, I don't need these anymore. Hope you liked that video. If you did, then hit that subscribe, like, and hype button, and let me know your thoughts on Fragrance Flower in the comments below. A big thank you to our patrons, and follow us on socials because we stream. As always, my friends, thank you so much for watching. I'm RJ Lane, and this has been On the Rise. That was Mark. It ruined that perfect take. That was the manager.